Hi there and welcome. These are your handover videos for your Swift Conqueror 580. These are a basic walkthrough on how to set up and operate the caravan as if you were coming on our off-site. Starting off first, we have your black hitch head here with black lever that you have to have pulled up like so. Then what you can do is wind down the jockey wheel onto the tow bar, causing that to snap down, pushing up that red button and exposing the green ring. Breakaway cable just here. Now legality states if you have an eye point it has to be used, if not wrap it around the tow bar. You then have 13 pin electric on the caravan, so if you do have 7 pin adaptation, make sure to bring yourself an adapter. Handbrake just here, so press down to disengage, flick up to engage. They can come up with a fair bit of force. Jockey wheel used to level the caravan and it sits inside the A-frame whilst travelling. 2 points either side and 2 points at the back, we have inserts for your legs. Now the caravan itself comes with a leg winder, or alternatively you can get yourself a 19mm drill bit and a power drill just to make it that bit quicker. Do not attempt to jack up or level the caravan using your legs, they're simply used for stabilisation. Now we're using test equipment today here, so first up I have a red propane gas bottle. I'd always recommend propane over butane as it has a better performance in winter. Connected onto that I have a black gas hose. Black gas hoses will run for 5 years and that connects onto this regulator just here. What you'll want to do is hand tighten that as much as you physically can and then just give it a gentle nip up using a spanner. You don't want it ridiculously tight as too much pressure can cause the O-ring inside the hose to crack and break, so you just need a gentle nip up. Just here we have your flue. Your flue is used to get clean air in and out of your boiler when operating on gas. Don't have to do anything with this except make sure it's nice, clean and tidy. We then have an acroll full of fresh drinking water and your water pump. Water pump to remove it, press in on the trigger and pull out. Now it does take a little bit of force. What I would recommend is potentially lubricating these rubbers because they can be a bit stiff to go in and out. This works on a trigger system, so to remove it you have to press in on the trigger. We have this blue cap here to go over the top of the acroll to ensure no nastiness gets in, and then at the bottom we have your strainer. Now it's crucial that the strainer sits at the bottom of the barrel to allow the maximum potential of water to come through. If not, you're going to get airlocks throughout the system. So all you have to do is press in to get it in until you hear a little click. Next to that we have your battery locker. Now as you can see you can lock up the locker with the mains still plugged in, but if I just quickly open this up, you can see this is where your battery would sit and your mains lead plugs in here nice and easy. You also have the ignition point of the mover, which will be gone over on collection. You have 2 points here where your wastewater is going to come out of. You'll need some 28.5mm waste pipe to feed into a waste master, and you can empty out at the appropriate point on site. And then lastly we have your toilet function. So up here we have your flush tank. Now this has a capacity of around 12 litres. However, I wouldn't recommend putting in any more than 10 as you don't want to overfill the capacity. You can also add some pink chemical which works as a bleach without being corrosive and makes it smell nicer. You then have your cassette toilet. To remove it, up on the orange handle and pull out towards you. Now this handle also extends out and up and can be used similar to a carry-on suitcase. What you'll want to do is twist this head to the side, open up this cap like so, tilt, and at the same time as tilting continually press in that vent button. Then my recommendation is to open up this compartment, feed in some fresh water, give it a bit of a shake and again tilt and vent. Then on this cap here you have measurements in both imperial and metric, and that's for your blue chemical. Blue chemical goes into there, twist the head to the side, and then you want to push this in so the orange handle sits behind those white teeth. Now you don't want to travel with either of these two full, so just up here you can see it rests in there. You've got a little bung to drain off any remaining water in the system. The caravan itself will be fully drained off before you leave with it. Here we have your main control panel, so you've got a little sensor there to just turn it on and off. You've got your main on and off button just here, and then you can cycle through the settings using these two buttons, and then you have the enter button just here. So first up, leisure charging, vehicle battery, solar power, battery selection, AC limit, internal temperature. Now that's always going to slightly differ to this one. Dimmer level for the actual lights, heater settings, fridge settings, system settings, what sergeant system it's on, and then back to leisure charging. You don't really have to do anything with that, as it's sort of set to the most user friendly. You have a pump button just here, which you press in and there will be a blue light on there telling you that the pump is on. You have the two internal lights on these two here, so you've got the top row, as you can see on there, and then all your other sort of residual lights just there. You then also have awning light, again blue light on this panel, and where is the awning light on this one? You can see awning light on just there. So simple enough panel to use. Select buttons, enter button, awning light, internal light, water pump. Just here we have your other control panel. So to turn this on, pressing the button just here, it will flash up and then it will come to the home screen. Now this shows 26.5 internal degrees, and that means it's currently plugged in. Pressing on menu and you come to this screen here, so let's just make it completely blank. So first up we have the internal temperature of the caravan that you want. You can go down or up by either individually tapping or pressing and holding. Whatever you set it to, it will get to that temperature in around about an hour if it's a nice day. However, if it is a bit more miserable, it may take a while longer. So it goes up to a maximum of 30 and starts at 5 degrees. Next to that we have the shower icon, so it's currently off, meaning no heat going to that. You can have it halfway, which will get the water temperature to around about 40 or 50 degrees, or you can have it on full. Now what full does, it prioritizes heating the actual water over heating the caravan. Now that lasts for about 30 minutes, and after those 30 minutes it will then drop back down to midway. Then we have energy sources, so we can either use 1, 2, 3 kilowatts of mains, or a mixture with gas, or strictly gas. So you've got the choice of gas, mains, or both, and that is for the heating and hot water. You then have additional settings by pressing in on the cog, which I'm not going to go through, as we have set this to what we believe the most user-friendly panel to use. However, if you'd like to have a look inside your book pack, please do so. Now naturally this screen is going to fade off when not interacted with in a little bit of time. However, if you want the heating completely off, press in, turns the panel off. Then underneath your right hand side seat you have all of this here, so I wouldn't recommend storing anything under here. You can see there you have this silver box, which is your boiler. You can access that by lifting this part up. You have your flow jet, which is what's going to pull through the actual water to the boiler, which is all through these blue connections here, which are across the caravan, sending it to the different parts where water is needed. You also have this yellow drain valve just here, so facing in the position as it is now, that's allowing the flow of water to come through. However, switch it up to the vertical position and that will drain off any water inside the system. So all you have to do is flip that up like so, and that will drop out any water onto the floor. November to March, have that up permanently unless you're actively using the caravan, and anytime you come off site, give the caravan a drain off as well. This grey box is the equivalent of your brain box for your motor mover, where you have the connections for it, and you can pull back that panel if you ever need to do a reset. You have this silver box on the side, which is your battery charger. You then have all of your trips and fuses. As you can see, all your trips in the upright position and all your fuses in the correct position. I'd always recommend storing some extras across the van. You have heating and hot water and charger both illuminated, showing that they're both working. Reverse polarity setting if you ever go abroad, and a complete system shutdown button at the end just there. Press that in, the off good side of the caravan is able to operate. Now if you need some more information on your trips and fuses, you can pull back this panel and it gives you some more information. As you can see, nice steady continuous stream. This is what you're after. So what is happening at the same time as you're taking water out is that water is being put back into the boiler and being pressurized. So anytime that you open up a tap, the water will come back in. If you have continual like coughs and splutters, more than like 30 seconds worth, check your drain valve, check that the Aquarel has plenty of water and that the pump is in with the strainer at the bottom of the barrel. Then once you're finished, you put down that there, and then once you want to drain off the caravan, come over back to your panel and turn off the pump so there is no more blue light. Open up your drain valve and open up the taps you've been using. Just here we have your hob, grill and oven, all of which operates on gas, minus the electric plate. Electric plate, spin it to whatever mark, you'll see a red light on there showing that it's getting to temperature. Everything else you have to press in on the dial, twist it to the side and press it on your igniter button just there. You also have this light button for inside the cooker, but all you have to do is press in the dial, twist it to the side and then wait for it to ignite. Now when you first come to use it, it may light up and then cut out, or it may just take a while to light. That is perfectly natural. That is the gas making its way through the system. This is what it looks like when they're all lit. As you can see, all burners nice and lit. Turn it off, back to the central position. It's the same concept for your grill. Grill all nice and lit. And finally your oven. And make sure as well that these trays do not intrude on the igniter. There you can see all nice and lit down there as well. Only other real thing to note is that you need to travel with this glass sheet down, but don't put it down until all burners are cold to the touch. And if you're traveling with a gas bottle, make sure it's turned off. Just here we have your Dometic fridge. So you have to press and hold in on this far leftmost button to turn it on, and then you have a different set of choices for the source. So you can either have mains like I'm on just now, change the source using this button here, so press in. Auto chooses what the fridge thinks is the best source to use, which in this case is mains. When I press it again, it's going to go to this battery symbol, which is only representative of 13 pin whilst traveling. So when I press it in, it's going to come up and beep at me. So switch it over to gas. Now for gas, I'd recommend running through your hob, grill and oven first to make sure it's lighting correctly. You don't have to do anything with this. If there is a problem with it, it will flash up and beep. We then have the amount of power coming in. So 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. 5 being the most powerful, so it is going to chill it the quickest. However, even on full capacity, it is going to take around 4 hours to fully chill. And when you want the fridge off, press and hold in. Turns it off, no more light. Just here we have the toilet operation. So lift up the lid, press the button on the top, and you can hear that motor. That motor is what will push through any water in the system. Then to remove your waste, press away on this handle, opens up that catch, pull it back towards you to shut it up, and when the cassette is full, there's a red light on there telling you to empty.